brick wall with some weird hole in it, and that's it. This is boring. Excuse me.
That's going in.
Please don't. That's so embarrassing. All right. Hey guys, welcome back to another Gimpys Gal guesses. I don't even know what number we're on, but today is one that I don't understand why, but my husband was like so excited to get this. I don't even know if he knew this was coming. This was almost like a surprise delivery from his reaction. He was so excited. He's like, can you please film the unboxing today? Can you film it now? Keep in mind, we have 2 small kids and I don't often put any type of makeup on or do anything to get my hair's up and I'm in sweats. So it takes a lot of effort for me to get myself situated for a video. But I did it for him so I could get this because he's so ready to open it and start playing. And I'm assuming he's going to be doing some playthroughs of this on the channel, but he's just so excited for this. And this is by Dan Games, which I know he has a lot of those games, and I think he works with them some and talks with the guy. So this one's called Pavlov's House, the Battle of Stalingrad. Is that how you say it? I think I got that one right. Stalingrad. Okay. So right away, this is, I don't get it. When I asked, like when I first saw the title of it, I said, does this have anything to do with Pavlov's dog? Pavlov's dog. Unrelated. So just in case any of you were out there wondering, no, they're unrelated. But we're going to see if we can figure this one out. So the box is really, really weird. Like I don't look at this box and get like a war game vibe from it. Like some of the other ones, like the Colosseum one that I guessed. What was that one called? Colosseum, I think. It was very obvious it was Roman and it was in the Colosseum. It was very clear to me what that was about. This one, I'm like, okay, am I building something? Is this like the Berlin Wall? Like, what is this random thing on the front of this box? I don't get it. But I'm assuming it obviously makes sense if this whole thing makes sense to you. But I'm literally guessing blind because I've never even heard of Pavlov's House. So this is the front of the box. And the back of the box, I'm just going to look at it before I turn it around. It just says, not one step back. And then it looks like a little picture of some gameplay. Then it has like some information. It says solitaire. You take control of the defenders of Pavlov's house. You also control the key leaders of the Soviet. So right away, my first guess is that the Soviet is involved in this somehow because it tells us that on the back. It says it's cooperative and competitive. So I guess it can be solitaire or multiplayer. Game components, we have 140 cards, 100 wooden blocks, which I love if they're the little wooden blocks I think they are. 5 sheets of counters, 5 dice, 3 reference sheets, and a 33 by 17 mounted tactical display, and then a rule book. So that is the back of the box. Let's go ahead and open it. Pull out the contents. Just seems to be easier if I just do it that way than try to grab it all out. Has the little like dividery thing in it, which is cool for storing it and keeping it all organized. That pleases me. When I see organization like that, it makes me really happy. And this makes me really happy because I just love these, because every time I see these, I think, ooh, I get to collect stuff, and that's so exciting because I get to have more than you. Because regardless of what my husband and I are playing, even the cooperative games we play, my goal is not to win the game with him. My goal is to find a way to somehow beat him. And he'll vouch for that. Okay, so we have 5 just regular 6-sided dice. Well, okay, the singular is dice, right? Or the singular is die, and the plural is dice. Okay, well. And there you go. Here's the cards. Let's just flip this on over. So here is the rule book, I'm assuming. There are 31 pages, so not too many. I was just looking to see. Okay, this one's cool. This one, remember the stop boxes that I was obsessed with for like 2 videos and I just couldn't shut up about them? This one has gameplay examples. So I don't know if that is similar to a stop box and it gives you like scenarios and an example of gameplay. But again, all of this in here, even if I truly was going to play this game, I would not read this. This would go there, and I would do what I'm about to do right now, which is just guess and figure it out. And I would find a way to make it work, even if my guess was wrong. So here is the mounted, what did this say it was called? Mounted display something. Tactical display, is that what it was called? Okay. Ow. I'm holding it upside down, I feel. Am I? Yeah. Okay. So this is what it looks like. So it's a long one versus a fat one. And we have, let me just try to fold this. Okay. So on this board, it looks like there's two kind of sections to it, like a map looking area, and then like this kind of what I'm assuming is Pavlov's house. I was gonna say a warehouse, but then I remember the name of the game, so I'm assuming this is Pavlov's house over here. It has numbers all around it. I'm assuming it has something to do with like the different sides. We know the Soviet is involved. I'm trying to look at the different flag, like if there's any flags or any indicators of other teams, and there's really not. So I don't know. We haven't figured that part out yet, but maybe the counters will give us a better idea. So this reminds me of, I think it's called Arkham something that we played where we had to like, it was like a haunted house type of game. I don't remember the name of it. I'm trying to see if I see it. Mansions of Madness, maybe? Where we were like moving through the city and in and out of houses, and this looks like that. So this is the house. It says suppression. We have a storm group like card holder section up here, radio, reserve, supplies, and then different other little symbols that I have no clue what they mean. But these look like maybe game spaces. I don't know. There's not any like clear, like, you know, how checkers has like the red and black squares and you know where to move. This doesn't really have that. It just has these different little symbols, unless you can just kind of move anywhere. I don't know. This side looks like a map of like outside of the house, like a farther away map. What's it called? Like an aerial map. We have some numbers. We have some symbols that look like they might match some of these counters. There are some flag looking things, but none of them look like they're actually any country flags. And the colors are really just not doing it for me. I mean, there's like the salmon color, but I mean, I feel like they could have made it a little brighter. Like, you know, give me some rainbow action. Give me some glitter. Give me some sparkle. Like that would have been a little more appealing to me. These colors are just kind of drab and I'm not feeling it, but whatever. Looks like there's like a water area over here. It's a staging area. We have another operational support, like a card holding thing, and then there's just numbers and buildings, and I really, as of this point, don't know. Obviously, I know that it says on the back of the box, like for the solo mission or whatever, your goal is to like overtake Pavlov's house. So I'm assuming there must be some enemies. Maybe there's scenarios that certain enemies are in there, or maybe the cards, kind of like some of the other games that we have played together, where you turn a card. What was that zombie game we played? Where we turned the card and it in a portal and it told us how many zombies were coming out. What's that?
Zombicide.
Okay, Zombicide. There was a game that we played where we were moving through this like castle looking kind of area. There were portals and zombies came out, and when we would get to one of those, like every turn you would flip a card and it would tell you how many, if any, zombies and what kind were going to come out. So I don't know if maybe this game operates similarly in that there is a tactics deck, Pavlov's house, don't know what that is, and then operational support. So yeah, so this one says like infantry strike on the back. So I don't know if maybe it's a card driven one, solitarily speaking, where you flip the card, it tells you like how many enemies are going to be in this room at Pavlov's house and you have to get rid of them to overtake the house. And maybe you start where it's set on the board staging area, and then you're trying to move through the city and take out the enemies to get to the house and then overtake the house once you get there. Just my guess from what I've seen so far. So don't know how these come into play. I'm assuming you might can collect these as you move through. I don't know. Let's look at these. These are player aids. Okay, so these are going to tell us. So it says Soviet counters, Soviet cards, Wehrmacht cards. Is that German or something? German, okay. So we have the Soviets are on one side, and we have Russia. No. What's that flag you said? That's Russia, right? Russia. He's off to the side, so if I'm looking for guidance, that's where I'm looking. But I don't see any other flags besides that one. And we know the Soviets because it said on the back that Soviets, unless that's the same, isn't it? See, I hate it when I don't know, and I don't want to guess because I don't want to sound stupid, but I'll just go ahead and throw myself under the bus. When it comes to world history, I am not brushed up on it at all. I don't even know, like, mini flags. I don't know, geographically speaking, where different things took place or where different people are from. And, you know, I don't know any of that. So I'm not even going to try to pretend to know that. Okay, so I think I figured out, I know Wehrmacht or however you say that word, is a German word. So that's one side. I don't see a German flag on here, but I'm assuming I'm just missing it. And then we know the Soviets, Russians, same thing. So I'm assuming those are the two sides in this game. And I don't know which side you choose to operate or which side you get to operate, but it did say that there was solitaire and cooperative and competitive versions of this game. So I think my original guess was pretty spot on. The solitaire, I guess you're just moving through as one side. Pavlov sounds Russian to me, so I'm gonna go with the Germans are kind of the ones moving through and trying to take over the Pavlov's house thingy mabobber, and so you're trying to take out the Russians and take over the house, and that's how you win. So if you're solitaire, you move through, and maybe the deck operates the other side, and maybe it's like I said, where you flip it or you roll a dice, and it tells you like which way you get to go and which enemy there is. It did say like on this palace tactics. I don't know if he wants me to open these up or not, but on the back card it says sniper, number 4, and then attack defender, and then like a few boxes with numbers. So tactics, I'm assuming this would be moving through the city towards the house, what you have to work with, basically. And then Pavlov's house, this says 10.5 centimeters something artillery regiment attack building. Again, number 4 with like all those little number things on it. So this one just says Pavlov's house on the front of the card. So this must be what happens once you get inside the house, maybe like events that can happen. And then this one says operational support. So, and it has the Russian flag on it. So this is for them. So maybe, yeah, you're the Germans. This is the card that operates what happens with it as you're moving through. Maybe. I'm probably way off. But these 3 cards, this says Soviet counters. And then it just kind of lists a bunch of things and references pages in the rule book. At the beginning of the Soviet counter phase, move 3 counters. So it talks about move, attack, suppress, command, request reinforcements, forward observer, anti-tank, machine gun, mortar. So this must be all the different, obviously, counters, but what they represent, what you do if you get one of them. That's what this helps you with. For the opposing side. And then the Soviet cards, same thing, but with the cards. So it shows like the different cards and then lists different things. And then this last one says Wehrmacht cards. So that is who I'm assuming that you're playing as. Same thing as the Soviet cards. It just shows the different cards and then gives you either details if you draw that card, what you do or what happens. So I have no idea off of this what these have to do with any of it. Maybe, oh look, there's like a purple one. Maybe they're just here so that, like maybe he just made these counters for me specifically because he knows I love these counters. So maybe he just was like, you know what, Gimpys Gal really likes counters and they have nothing to do with this game. Let's just throw a bag in there for her. So that's my guess on these. I'm just kidding. But I do really like this one. I've never seen a color like this in any of the games I've played, so I wish they had more purples and pretty colors. But they're just like orange, red, gray, brown, purple, and green, it looks like, and blue and white. I don't have a clue what these are. I'm assuming these are probably throughout the city as you're moving in, or maybe they're in the house. Maybe they're something that you're trying to collect. Maybe they are enemy encounters, or you know, maybe you have to get certain supplies in order to take over the house, and that's what these represent. But most of the time, when these are involved in a game that I have played, which keep in mind, I've only played Euro style games, well, with these. These are always something that you're trying to collect. You're trying to use these either as like a currency, or the whole goal of the game is to just kind of collect and have the most of these. Or sometimes there was another game, it was one of the, it was a Euro style, but I can't remember what the name of it was, where there was like, I was looking over here at the camera and the camera's right here. There was like a little thing that was like the stock market, like you had to pay into it. And so you could use these to put on it, and it doesn't make any sense what I'm saying. But anyway, usually when these are involved, in my experience, it has to do with some type of collecting. So I don't know what they represent. I don't know how you figure out where they go or who picks them up or how, but they're obviously somehow involved. And so my guess is going to be it's something that you're collecting as you're moving through the city. That's what these are. This has to do with maybe your movement, and maybe on some of these, like right here, I'm looking at the Wehrmacht cards. It says attack, defender, sniper, and then it references page 9, but then it says roll to determine area attacked. So these are going to come in handy in all your different encounters, your movements, your attacks. You're going to look at these player aid cards, and it's going to tell you, according to maybe what card you draw, it's going to tell you what to do, and then whatever you roll, it will determine an area, or it will determine a level of attack or damage or something along those lines. So that's what these are for. And then here are the counters, and I think that's all the contents in here. So here is the first sheet of counters, and I like these again because they say Pavlov's house, sheet 1, front and back. So these look like they're the same on the front and the back. I have like some stars, which are my favorite so far. Some type of vehicle or something, weapons, someone climbing up a telephone pole, it looks like. A briefcase, which looks like a medic bag thing. And then we have like, there's actual pictures of people on these. So I don't know if these are actual like people who fought in this little doodaddy, if they work for the company and their picture's just on here as like a hardy har to have a picture on here. I don't know who these people are, but there are pictures on almost all of them of actual people. And it just says whoever they are on the front, and then on the back it says exhausted. So I guess at some point in the game as you're moving through, you can become exhausted, and if that happens, you flip your card, or you flip the counter over to indicate that. And I don't know what that means or how you get unexhausted, but obviously it has something to do with it. But that is sheet 1. So there. Sheet 2 looks like the same thing, but a little bit different. These look like recycling counters, or like when it's loading on the Xbox or whatever, when it's just circling. We have like some shield to have someone like playing hockey, or a metal detector or something. More of those medic things, and then more people with the thing on the front that says their name, and then the back it says exhausted. Have no clue what any of this means, but obviously you get to play, like these people come in handy, and they all have the Soviet symbol on them, so I guess they are maybe planted throughout the city, or maybe they're in the house. Maybe you're trying, like maybe there's different scenarios where certain ones of these are in the house and you got to get rid of them, or you have to exhaust them. I don't know. Then this one has like target looking bullet thingy mabobber scope, whatever it's called, scoping picture. And then we have a few more of the Soviet side, and then this might be the German side. And it says scouts, and it has numbers on the front and back. They look the same. That is sheet 3. That is the back of sheet 3. Oh, at the bottom it says, oh, they're different. So we have scouts, we have riflemen, we have machine gunners on this page. And then on this one, ooh, little lightning bolts and water droplets. So maybe weather comes into play in this one too. And then we have like some weapon looking tripod-y things, some tanks, and then some more Soviet people. And again, it looks the same on the front and the back, except for the Soviet ones just say exhausted on the back. So there is the front. Here is the back. I wish they would do, like, I've been so spoiled by some of the games I've unboxed or guessed because the pictures of the tanks have been super realistic, or they've actually had like the little tiny planes. And I loved that so much. And so when it's just like a black and white outline of it, it's like really disappointing. It makes me want to cry. Ooh, more lightning bolts. I really like these. They look like a Pokemon type of thing. So maybe you get to bring Pokemon into it, and maybe that's what these are. Maybe these are the Pokemon you can collect throughout the city as you're moving through. Anyway, just kidding. So lightning bolts, more Soviets. Then this one just says blank on the front and back of it. So I guess it's just an extra counter for some reason. Or it was just cut out because they had it cut out. Front and back, says exhausted on the back of it. So those were the 4 sheets or 5 sheets of counters. So I've gone through all the contents, and I'm going to give my final guess. I think it is the Germans are trying to take over Pavlov's house, and you're moving from the staging area, which I'm assuming is like the starting line, and you're moving through with your riflemen or your machine gunners or your scouts on your Panzer II, Panzer III, Panzer IV, or Stug something or other. You're moving through with your people on your vehicles through the city to collect your resources or whatever these represent. At different points in your journey, you're going to come across different scenarios where you're going to draw a tactic card or a Pavlov's house card or a operational support card. And when you draw these, depending on what you draw, there is a little sheet that tells you what happens when you draw that card. So how you know when you're drawing these, I'm assuming it says on the game board, you know, when you get to a certain point, maybe you draw a card, and then each card says you roll to determine like an area, or you roll to determine direction. So it's like a card and a dice run game. It can be solitaire, it can be cooperative, so you can work together, or it can be competitive, and you can play as the Germans versus the Soviets, or you can both play as the Germans, or someone can play as the Soviets and someone can play as the Germans. And that's what you do. You try to take Pavlov's house. I didn't see anyone on here whose name is Pavlov, so I don't think it's an actual person that plays in the game. I'm trying to look and see if I see anything that says, yep, actually he's right here. So there's Pavlov. So you're trying to get Pavlov out of his house and then take it for yourself. And then you move all of your little resources in, and you get to decorate your house, and you get to, you know, set it up how you'd like to. Put the stars on the wall and you can decorate it. I'm just kidding. But that's my guess. I think it's like a movement type of game where you're not necessarily like fighting the whole time, but you're more so trying to get through to a place, which is the house in this instance. And then I guess once you're on your way there, you encounter different scenarios, different attacks, different people, and the dice and the cards kind of indicate what happens along your way. So that's my guess for Pavlov's house. Hope it made sense. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and be sure to give it a like. If you haven't subscribed. My husband works so hard on these videos, and I love seeing the subscriber count go up. I know it means a lot to him, but if you haven't, go ahead and hit that subscription button. And if you're going to be at the WBCs, stop in and say hello, because we will be there, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye! Hi, Alex. Hi, Andy. Hello, Ashram. Hi, Brad. Hi, Brett. Hi, Bruce. Hi, Bug. Cool name. Hi, Chris. Colin, my man. Cudo. My stomach just growled. Oh, Danielle. Awesome. David. Hi. Donald. Hello, Doug Wong. I think my husband's friends with you on Facebook. Dr. Nakawaga Cozy. Hello. Thank you, Doctor. Hello, Drew and Eddie and Andre and Etor and Fred and Frederick and Gary and Gillies and Gorthinov and Jace and James and Jay and Jeff. Hello. Oh, look, there's some more on this one. That one's John Charles Allen, are you now or are you then? I want to know because I can't tell from the picture. It looks very military, but I can't tell if it's like a new picture or an older picture. John and Kesavine and Kevin. Oh, Kevin's got a little pose going on in his picture. He's doing a little chin action. Oh, Led Bonser is the one with the little baby. So cute. Lucy, I love your hair. Mark and Mark and Mark and Mark and Mark. Sorry, Mark Adams and Mark Asselman and Mark Hansen and Mark Russell and Mark Salino with no picture. Matt and Michael and Morellis and all these other names. Pether, Plantenberg, Ray, Rick, Keek. I don't know what that is. RCIK. How would you say that? Crike. Robert and Russ and Santine and Sven, Tavener, Toby, Tom, Walter. And then...
No, I think that's it.
Okay. Hi! Hello. I just think that's the coolest thing that people who, back this up could get their picture on that. That's pretty cool to be able to show your kids. I thought it was cool that my husband had his name in a book that, as someone who helped make videos. And I was like posting it all over Facebook. So to have your picture in a game is awesome. So that's awesome, guys. Bye.